One fog-drenched night in the Grimefoot Marsh, a goblin named Nibnock found a glowing golden ring humming in a puddle. A deep voice whispered, "Make your wish mortal." Nibnock, being both drunk and ambitious, shouted infinite snacks. The ring flashed brighter than a wizard's ego. And suddenly the sky started dumping pickles, cheese cubes, and chicken bones like the heavens got food poisoning. At first the goblins lost their minds with joy, then their homes. Within hours the camp looked like a charcuterie crime scene. On day 2 they were eating the walls for breakfast. By day 3 they crowned Nibnock Snack King, duct-taped him to a stick, and offered him to the sky like an idiot lightning rod. It worked. The storm stopped. Now he's bald, crispy, and worshipped as the patron saint of bad decisions and midnight cravings. Months after the great snack storm, Nibnock, the Snack King, had gone full celebrity. Goblins lined up for blessings, autographs, and crumbs from his beard. Problem was he couldn't taste anything anymore. Lightning had nuked his tongue. Desperate to feel flavor again, he visited a swamp witch named Belcha, who sold him a potion labeled Taste Reboot, do not sniff. Naturally, he sniffed it. There was an explosion. His tongue grew arms. It started eating him. The goblins panicked, cheering and screaming, "He's feeding himself!" By dawn, the tongue had escaped into the swamp, now known as the Snack Beast. Nibnock survived, barely, and swore vengeance. But every full moon he swears he can hear it licking the trees, whispering, "More cheese." Weeks after the great snack storm, Nibnock, the Snack King, decided it was time to reclaim his dignity, or at least what was left of it. He gathered 3 brave and questionably sober goblins, a rusty shovel, and a dented frying pan. Their goal: capture the Snack Beast, his runaway tongue. They followed a trail of half-eaten mushrooms and suspiciously licked trees until they found it, massive, slimy, and sitting on a throne of snack wrappers. The creature hissed, "Father." Nibnock yelled, "Nope, not doing this again," and charged. The fight was glorious, mostly slipping, screaming, and yelling, "Why is it so sticky?" Eventually he clanged the frying pan down and trapped it. The marsh went quiet. Nibnock grinned and said, "Dinner's served." And that's how goblins accidentally invented non-stick cookware. After the Snack Beast incident, Nibnock, the Goblin Snack King, tried to enjoy a quiet goblin life, mostly napping on piles of slightly stale goblin snacks. But peace never lasts for a goblin. One morning he woke to find tiny goblin Snack Beast offspring nibbling on his pointy goblin boots. Determined to reclaim his footwear, Nibnock, the goblin, chased them through the squishy Grimefoot Marsh, slipping on jelly beans and ducking flying cheese cubes, while other goblins laughed hysterically, placing bets on how many times he'd land face first in a pickle barrel. Finally, the Goblin King cornered the tiny critters in a hollow log. Instead of squashing them, he muttered, "Fine, you can stay. But you cook dinner, little goblins." By sunset, the marsh smelled like burnt toast, overcooked mushrooms, and one very grumpy goblin, Snack King, muttering, "I didn't sign up for this goblin chaos." By the time winter oozed into the Grimefoot Marsh, Nibnock, the Goblin Snack King, had accepted his weird new family. 3 baby snack beasts that thought everything was food, including the furniture, the roof, and occasionally him. The goblin villagers loved the chaos. They'd stop by just to watch Nibnock sprint through the mud, yelling, "Spit that out! That's not edible, it's my crown!" One day a traveling wizard showed up, claiming he could train the little beasts. Nibnock, desperate for peace, agreed. 10 minutes later, the wizard was gone, eaten hat first, and the baby snack beasts burped up fireworks. Now every night the marsh sky explodes in random snack-colored sparks. And when the goblins cheer, Nibnock just sighs, raises his fried crown, and mutters, "Fine. At least it's festive." By springtime, Nibnock, the Goblin Snack King, was something of a legend. Not for his bravery or wisdom or leadership, no, mostly for surviving parenthood with 3 snack-burping monsters. The snack beasts had grown big enough to need their own hut, so Nibnock built one out of old bread cheese wheels and questionable optimism. The goblins called it Snack Fort. It lasted 12 minutes before collapsing into a fondue disaster that coated half the village in goo. Furious, Nibnock yelled, "That's it! No more snacks in the house!" which in goblin culture is roughly equivalent to declaring war. The whole tribe gasped. By nightfall, the goblins had voted to exile Nibnock 3 feet away to a nearby mud puddle. There he sat sulking, nibbling on soggy crackers and whispering, "Fine, I'll start my own tribe, with better snacks and fewer rules." Exiled to his mud puddle, Nibnock, the Goblin Snack King, decided to start his own glorious new tribe, the Snackless Order. Membership was simple, no snacks allowed, just pure discipline and mild grumpiness. Naturally, no goblin joined. After 3 days alone, Nibnock grew bored and started talking to a rock he named Cheddar. By day 5, he promoted Cheddar to chief of morale. Then a group of young goblins wandered by, curious about the snackless cult. Nibnock puffed out his chest and declared, "Here we rise above temptation. right before his stomach growled so loud it echoed across the swamp. The goblins laughed so hard they brought him snacks out of pity. Nibnock tried to resist, but 5 bites later he announced, "The snackless order is officially disbanded," and crowned himself king again, mud crumbs and all. When dawn finally crept over the Grimefoot Marsh, the fires of snacks giving had burned low, and goblins slept in sticky piles across the swamp. Nibnock the goblin, Snack King, stood alone at the edge of the bog, watching mist curl through the trees. The ring that started it all, the one that rained endless snacks, still shimmered faintly in his hand. For a moment he thought about wishing again. Power peace, maybe cleaner goblins, but he just laughed and tossed the ring into the muck. "We don't need magic," he said. "We've got snacks and terrible decision-making. That's enough." As the ring sank, bubbles rose, then burst with a faint burp. The swamp itself seemed to laugh. The snack beasts howled, fireworks popped one last time, and the goblins cheered awake, shouting his name. Nibnock grinned, raised his crumb-covered crown, and declared, "Long live the goblins, may we never learn a single thing." And with that, the legend of Nibnock the Snack King became eternal, written not in stone, but in leftover cheese dust.